Hey everyone, and welcome back to Crystalline. In the last episode, we made our way through the Fire Temple, met the Fire Spirit, and learned that we need to conquer about four more temples in order to return home. And that's pretty much it. We tried and we failed. Terra joined the party, and that's pretty much it. And let's get right back onto it. Once we are in agreement, we follow Kara back to Embermist. Upon arriving, we head to the inn. Embermist has an inn. Okay, at least it looks like this.
We can spend the night here. I'll meet you back down in the lobby in a few minutes.
She ventures upstairs while we secure 2 rooms with the innkeeper. As we receive our keys, Amelia excuses herself.
I wish to seek an audience with Elder Isum and continue our discussion. I would be remiss to let such an opportunity pass.
He seems like a good guy, but maybe we keep the fact that I'm not from here a secret.
Yes, that is something in which we are in agreement.
Okay. She nods and leaves the inn. The decor of this inn is very similar to Elder Isum's hut. Pillows and rugs line the ground as a few people sit cross-legged in front of the fire. A few tables line the other side of the lobby, all of which are empty. In fact, aside from the couple people chatting by the fire, this place is very empty. Once I sit down, I feel fatigue pass over me, but I try to shake it off. I guess they don't see too many visitors here.
For a city that's supposed to be so secret, that's not surprising. It's more surprising that they have an inn.
Yeah. I nod and stifle a yawn. We sit at a table as Zach orders us dinner. After a few minutes, Kara returns.
Where's Amelia?
She went to speak with Elder Isum. She nods. My eyelids droop as I'm stifling yawns every few minutes. My limbs feel like leaded weight, and it's taken a toll on the effort to sit up straight. After I let out a wide yawn, Liana glances over at me.
Maybe you should go to bed. We're winding down anyway, so it'd be a good idea to get some rest.
I nod, blearily. That sounds like a good idea right now. That sounds really good right now. I guess absorbing all that energy really takes a lot out of you, huh? Liana smiles at my joke.
It would seem so.
Look at the yawns. Shit. Sorry. Regardless, I'm great. All this yawning talk is making me yawn. And the fact that I'm exhausted today. Regardless, I'm grateful for her excuse to leave. I trot upstairs and fumble with my key before opening the door. Then I fall into one of the twin cots and pass out as soon as my head hits the pillow. Da-da-da-da. Light filters through the window as I gently pulls me out of my slumber. Slowly, I push myself up and head glances over to see Zach strapping his dischargers. He notices me sit up.
Hey.
Hey.
We're meeting downstairs in a few minutes.
Alright. As Zach finishes gathering his things, I begin to get ready to go downstairs. The group gathers down in the lobby as I greet everyone and turn to Amelia. How was your chat with Elder Isum yesterday?
We had a very productive discussion. In fact, Elder Isum shared more of his journals with me.
She indicates the scrolls in her arms. Wow, he gave those to you?
No, these are copies I wrote to bring back with me to the academy.
We stare at Amelia. She spent all night writing those?
That's a lot of dedication.
Amelia continues.
Regardless, we discussed more on the theory of temporal rifts in the elementals, which has only strengthened my concern that we do not have enough energy.
And that definitely means we need to seek out another temple.
Do we have a lead on where to go?
Elder Isum, through his research into the elements, did mention that historically, the Gaians, the people who originally worshipped the earth elemental, used to reside in the central woodlands of Assyria. The Kali, the people who worshipped the wind elemental, resided in the northern aerial plains. Therefore, it is most logical that the Earth and Wind Temple will be located in those respective regions.
What about water or a shadow temple? She shakes her head.
The Aquarians, those who worshipped the water elemental, depended heavily on the seas. As such, Elder Ism was unable to pinpoint where the cultural hub of their society might have been. As for Shadow, that is a complete unknown.
If the Earth Temple is somewhere centrally located, then that would be the temple closest to us.
Liana nods.
The fastest way back will be to take the crystal rail. So we should return to Bazada.
We get to pass through the haunted forest again? With our next course of action in place, we finish up at the inn and get ready to depart. Elder Isam sees us off, much to the delight of Amelia. We retreat back through the forest. Liana stays by my side the whole way through, still unsettled by the forest. Luckily, nothing unfavorable happens and we quickly make it through. As we return to Bazara, I can hear the ruckus sounds of the marketplace city long before I see it. We pass through the familiar city gates and return to the early bustle of the city.
Let's pause here and take a moment to restock. There are a few items I'd like to pick up, which may be helpful.
Good idea. Why don't we all make sure we have everything we need, and then meet at the crystal rail station?
We all agree and split up. I spend some time browsing through the stalls again. Afterwards, I head over to the station to meet back up with the group. I'm the first to arrive at the station, but Kara shows up only a few minutes later. As the rest of the team gradually trickles in, Kara appears at the station list.
The end of the line is Stonecrest, so that's where we should go. Once we arrive there, I'll scout around and find our next course of action.
We want to reach as close to Central as possible, so traveling to the end of the crystal rail is a good first step.
Whatever all that means. Once we have a semblance of a plan together, we purchase our tickets. After the train pulls into the station, we all board and begin our journey. After traveling on the train for 2 days, we finally arrive in the city. I squint at the midday sun and join the others as we quickly disembark the train, graceful for the chance to stretch our legs.
Here we are, Stonecrest.
Kara pulls her arms over in a stretch, forcing her chest out. Zack's eyes are immediately drawn to her. She smirks at Zack, who quickly averts his gaze and stares hard at a random cobble on the street. The town doesn't differ much from the other towns we've seen so far. It is made up of the same stone buildings and cobble paths. People wander in and out of the shops, going about their daily lives. The first thing we do is find and enter the inn. Alright, so now that we're here, how do we figure out where to go next? Kara grins.
Just leave it to me. I'll ask around and see if I can come up with anything.
Just saving to be sure. Because this game does kind of crash sometimes.
I'll keep my eyes and ears open just in case I hear something too.
Kara shakes her head.
You should relax and enjoy the city. I've got some contacts I'm going to reach out to, so I've got this.
Oh, well, if you're sure.
Kara nods.
I already have a few ideas and leads based on some of my previous scoutings for temples and hidden relics.
Okay, then let's meet back here in a few hours to regroup.
Works for me.
Amelia nods distractedly.
Now that we have something of a plan, I'll be heading off.
Me too.
Kara and Liana leave while everyone else stirs. I don't have anything pressing to do. I wonder if I can help out or hang out with someone. Kara seems to already have an idea of where she wants to go. Maybe I can hang out with Liana. I check the surrounding streets and come up upon a statue. Liana stands right before it. Hey. She smiles as I approach.
Hey!
I look back at the statue of a woman. She stands in a regal pose overlooking the town square. She stands out in armor with a sword hanging by her side. Who's that?
That is Elena Vale. She was a mage knight who fought to protect her city against the advancement of Void.
Liana's eyes spark with admiration as she looks at the statue. She tucks a lock of hair behind her ear. It's pretty cool. I'm guessing she's from here. Liana nods.
She was still studying at the academy to become a mage knight, but happens to be home when Void attacked. They didn't have the same type of training regimen in place back then as we do now. Normal townsfolk weren't trained or prepared to fight in a battle, and it was absolute chaos. Scouts by the gate spotted the advancement of a Void troop coming to the town, which caused panic. Elena quickly took charge and tried to calm the people down. Thinking on her feet, she asked for volunteers to help evacuate families from the city, and others to help set up barricades and defenses in town to slow down the Void advancement. Those who stayed to fight knew what the consequences would be, but Elena's unfaltering bravery rallied them. Together they found whatever they could to block off the streets and alleyways. That way, they could at least try to control where the fights happened. And then, Void entered the town.
That must have been a bloodbath. Liana grimaces.
It wasn't pretty. These weren't trained soldiers, but still, they persevered for their town. Elena and a team of guards sought out the leader of Void, who was hidden in the back lines. They used hidden passageways in the town to quickly reach him, using her magic and training. She was a formidable match during the skirmish, and at one point, she even had the upper hand. When the leader realized that he may be cut down, he cowardly tried to retreat. He cast a line of shadow fire between himself and Elena, which stretched across the road. It burned both any Void followers and townsmen alike who were caught in the crossfire.
She begins to speak in awe.
But that did not stop Elena. She leaped through the dark flames and ran her sword straight through him.
What a badass. My mouth drops. That is so badass. Liana grins broadly, her eyes sparkling.
It was. And a huge morale boost for anyone who witnessed it, too.
I can imagine. She literally jumped through fire. I'm assuming that it was a fatal blow that killed the leader. Liana nods.
Unfortunately, shadow fire is far more deadly than regular fire. And it proved to be fatal.
She sacrificed her life to save the people of her town. That's admirable. What happened then?
With the Void leader defeated, the rest of the followers broke down and either fled or surrendered. Thanks to Elena, this town wasn't taken over.
You seem to know a lot about her. Liana brightens up again.
Of course, she's such an inspiration. There aren't many mage knights who are women. While Elena may not have been one of the heroes of Asaria, who defeated and ended the conflict with Void, she still made just as big an impact to the people of this town. To me, Elena embodies what it means to be a mage knight. Being a student didn't stop her. She still did everything possible to protect those who needed it.
Is that why you became a mage knight?
It's one of the reasons. Elena showed me that no deed is too small to make an impact on someone. As a mage knight, I get sent on missions all over Heavengard. I feel like I can make more of a difference than if I were just a research mage.
She grins. You know, I like this background. It's pretty.
Plus, getting to travel around and meet new people isn't so bad.
How does your family feel about your traveling so much?
While they don't think it's ideal, it's something they're already used to.
Oh? Liana
My
nods.
older brother is also a mage knight.
Oh, so you kind of followed in his footsteps.
I guess you could say that.
You two get along? She thinks, then nods slowly.
Yeah, we do actually.
You must have been really happy to hear you've become a mage knight too. Liana shifts her gaze away and smooths her skirt. When she looks back up, she seems too cheerful.
Well, that's a long enough break. I should go and help Kara with the search. I know she said we didn't have to, but investigating is part of what I do. I'll meet you back at the inn.
That was a fast change in her demeanor. It must have been something I said. Alright, I'll keep looking around too. She flashes me one last smile before quickly disappearing down the street. I guess I better get a move on as well. With that done, I think about my next steps. Let's look for Amelia. Let's see what she's up to. I wonder what Amelia's doing. I make a big loop around town, but I don't find her anywhere. Racking my brain, I try to think of what Amelia would be interested in. Library, museum, something bookish. I make another lap around town, but I don't find those places. Well, I'm making no progress, just wandering around. I better return to the inn. I make my way back, and I'm surprised to see a familiar set of pigtails sitting quietly at one of the tables. Amelia looks up at me as I approach her.
Greetings.
Hey. She makes no indication to speak again. What are you doing here?
I am awaiting the rest of our group at our designated meeting point.
But we still have a lot of time before the others are going to show up. She blinks.
Yes, I'm well aware of that information.
Don't you want to explore the town?
No,
I continue to stare at her, so she
I
explains.
do not possess the contacts of Kara to pursue a lead on our next destination, nor are there any familiar channels of leisure for me in the city. The only option available is to reconvene with the rest of the group. Hence, I'm awaiting everyone's return.
Familiar channels of leisure? Is that her way of saying nothing fun here? There has gotta be something fun to do around here. She shakes her head.
From my understanding, there is no library or museum.
Fun is a broad term. Are those the only places you've looked for? She nods. Fun could mean more than just that. Have you tried looking for some place with games or something? She cocks her head to the side and looks at me curiously. Like... I pause to try to think of some type of game that would be in this world. Maybe stuff you'd find at a fair. Ring toss or knife throwing or whack-a-mole. Amelia pauses.
Perhaps you were describing a carnival.
Yeah, that's it.
I did not seek out that information, but I believe I may know the location of what you are seeking.
Really? That's great. We should go. She pauses as she thinks, then gets to her
I
feet.
suppose frequenting an establishment such as that could be considered a form of learning.
That's right. Let's go. She's weird. Amelia exits the inn and heads confidently out on the streets. I keep up as she turns onto the side street, and before long she pauses in front of an open alley. It reminds me of the fair and carnivals we have back home. People set up their stalls along the sides, but instead of selling wares, they advertise activities. There are stalls offering targets to test your skill, like weapon throwing, or stalls that will guess your weight or age. Amelia glances at me.
Is this what you were suggesting?
This is even better than I imagined. Which one do you want to check out?
I am content to merely observe.
That's no fun. You should try one. She doesn't seem to be interested in choosing. I guess that means I'll just have to choose for her. Maybe we should go for something more engaging, like target throwing. Looking around at the stalls, I don't recognize what half of these options are. There's something with floating circles and something else with bottles. I pause when I see a stall with dischargers. Finally, something I recognize. They shouldn't be too different from shooting ranges back home. Let's try shooting the dischargers. Amelia gives me a strange look.
An interesting choice.
Her tone suggests she's not something she'd try on her own, but she follows me to the stand anyway. The man behind the counter grins at us.
Think you have what it takes to win? Hit 3 out of 5 shots to win a prize.
You ready?
Perhaps if you attempt it first, I can observe you and then attempt it myself.
Are you trying to tell me a discharger is too difficult for you? Amelia shakes her head dismissively.
Nonsense. Dischargers are merely a simple tool. I, on the other hand, have extensive magic training. This is nothing more than an exercise in coordination. I will attempt it.
That'll be 2 coins, miss.
She places the coins on the counter and she swaps it out with a
There
discharger.
are 5 rounds loaded in there. Have at it.
Amelia clutches the discharger and holds it in front of her. She squints one eye as she lines up her aim, then squeezes the trigger. A bolt of energy shoots out of the barrel and Amelia lets out a small gasp at the kickback. But if it's an energy rifle, wouldn't an energy rifle have no kickback? Technically a laser, it's a laser, energy laser. It wouldn't have a recoil. She shot it wide and misses the target. Amelia's eyes are also wide as she studies the discharger with interest.
How curious.
Have you ever shot one of these before? She shakes her head.
The opposing force was unanticipated. This time I will be prepared.
She lines up her aim and fires again. Anticipating the kickback, she fights to keep her aim straight and can't stop the slight jerk of the weapon. Again, her shot misses. She frowns and seems surprised at herself, as if she can't believe that she continues to miss. She fires again, but aims too high and misses. Then fires once more, shoots wide. For her final shot, she aims too low and misses again. Her face falls when she realizes all out of shots. Cheer up, nobody's good at everything the first time they try it. Amelia's frown deepens.
Good try, miss. But unfortunately...
Amelia interrupts him by placing more coins on the counter.
I would like another attempt.
I'm surprised by the determination in her voice.
As you wish.
She takes the coins and resets the discharger with more rounds. Oh, he takes them. Amelia fires again and again, but never quite hits the target. She throws down the discharger and raises her bracelet. An unusual fire in her eyes then begins to glow. They begin to glow. Hey, what are you doing?
I will hit the target.
You've got to use the discharger.
This discharger is clearly defective and not utilizing the energy properly. I will use my magic to prove it to you.
I have no doubt in your skill at casting magic, but shooting a discharger is a new skill. You shouldn't give up. Amelia doesn't react. Are you really going to let a measly little discharger get the best of you? The more you shoot it, the better your aim will be, and you'll be hitting these targets in no time. As she considers my words, her jaw unclenches and she lowers her arm. She picks up the discharger again with a new resoluteness. As she lines up the shot, she takes her time before shooting. This time, her shots are much closer to the target. Amelia nods, as if confirming something to herself. She shoots again, and her shots are even closer to the target. One last shot, her face hardens and determination sets in. This time, she painstakingly lines up her shot and steadies her grip. As she pulls the trigger, she uses her body to help keep her steady from the kickback, and her shot hits the target. Her eyes light up as she throws her arms in the air and hops up and down with excitement.
I hit it!
Oh my god, that's adorable! I'm glad I'm doing these. Thumbnail!
Did you see?
She turns to me with a big smile on her face as she jumps excitedly. Her pigtails bounce along with her as she claps her hands. I'm happy for her. It's always nice feeling when you finally accomplish something that was too hard. Hey, that was a great shot. She squirms as if she still can't believe she made it. Oh, I like that one better. Suddenly her face turns red as she freezes. I see the moment of embarrassment on her face before she resumes her usual blank stare.
I meant it was only a matter of time before I got the correct calculations.
So she isn't a robot.
Anyway, I shall return in a moment.
She rushes off in a hurry towards the ladies' room, probably to recompose herself. I guess I'll wait here then. She still didn't win that prize, though. Maybe I can win it for her. I addressed the shopkeeper. Hey, I'll give it a go. I've done my fair share of paintballing back home. It should be somewhat similar. I place my coins on the table and the man hands me a discharger. The first round misses as I familiarize myself with the weapon. My second attempt hits the target, as does my third. Unfortunately, my next attempt misses and I misjudged my aim. This is it. I steady my aim and fire. I hit! I'm actually a pretty good shot with a gun, so. My aim is true and I hit the target. Yes! I put down my discharger and pump my fist in the air. The man grins.
Nicely done. Well, here's your prize. Congratulations.
He hands me a pink Pongo plushie. Thanks. Amelia returns and her eyes grow wide as she sees my plushie.
How did you acquire this?
It's the prize from the game. She looks at me in surprise and she seems impressed.
You attempted the game, and you were successful?
Yeah?
I see.
She eyes the discharger booth again. I hold out the plushie. This is for you. She blinks.
But you earned this.
I already have a Pongo. I don't need another one. I placed a plushie in her hands. Let's check out another stall.
Okay.
I turn around and begin walking, but not before I catch the small smile on Amelia's face as she hugs the plushie close to her. She's human after all. As we wander the stands, I think about Amelia and her Mage Caster program. So I've been wondering, as a student of the Mage Academy, won't coming on this adventure with us affect your
That
classes?
is not an issue for me, as I do not have classes.
You don't. She shakes her head. Oh, then what have you been working
My
on?
research studies. A significant component to becoming a mage caster is research study. That is my focus and basis for participating on our travels.
So you just have to document research of a subject area on your choice and you're done?
To put it so plainly does a disservice to the amount of effort involved in formally achieving the status of mage caster. But ultimately, you are correct.
Sounds a bit like she's working on the equivalent of her dissertation. So, if that's it, why haven't you done it already?
It is not so simple. I had taken into consideration furthering the research on temporal rifts and the other parallel worlds. But such an endeavor would have been fruitless without an avenue for further research.
Oops. That explains her fascination with Elder Isam. And then I came along. She smiles.
Precisely.
Aren't you worried the Mage Academy will come looking for you?
After departing the academy, I did ensure that a notification would reach my professors to inform them that I am currently traveling on a research study. These studies are quite numerous and common amidst my peers.
I see. Amelia pauses in front of a stall.
Shall we attempt this activity?
Sure. We spend some more time trying the other stalls before we decide to leave. Amelia returns to the inn, but I decided to stay out a little longer. With that done, I think about my next steps. Let's find Kara. Actually, I want to save after. Maybe I can help Kara with her search. No, I just want to see what Kara's up to. But I'm going to save first. I search the streets of the city, but seem to always miss her. I wonder where she is and what kind of people she's talking to. Oh well, I'll see when we meet back up, I guess. I'll try something else. With that done, I think about my next steps. Well, that was anti-fucking-climactic. Now let's go talk to Zachy boy. Based on the previous patterns, it shouldn't be difficult to figure out where Zack went. I make my way to the inn. To my surprise, Zack isn't standing in front of the bounty board. Instead, he sits alone at a table nursing a tankard. Looks like Zack's starting early. I'm sure if I join him, that'll be my entire day. Well, it is the last one, so I don't have anything else going on. Let's get this party started. Zack looks up at me, then returns to his drink. I have one or two drinks. I pay for a drink and then join Zack at his table. Zack takes a swig as I sit down and nods at me in greeting. I nod back and take a drink too. I don't feel much like talking, and to no one's surprise, neither does Zack. Instead, we sit in comfortable silence, enjoying our drinks in each other's company. A heated discussion at another table escalates as the innkeeper escorts the men out. I shake my head as I watch them leave. I catch Zack also shaking his head. We make eye contact and he grins. I guess he disapproves too. Great minds think alike. Once I feel a good buzz, I finish off my drink and decide to head off. I don't want to get too drunk. I get to my feet and nod a goodbye to Zack, who reciprocates my nod. Then I leave the inn. Even without the use of words, I feel closer to Zack. With that done, I think about my next steps. I've done everything I could for now. I head back to the inn and wait for the others to return. The sun is completely set as I step back into the streets. I look up at the night sky. The stars are especially clear tonight as they twinkle amidst the darkness. Amelia and Zack stand outside the inn, staring at something. I can't see their faces too clearly, but Amelia seems pensive. Zack continually glances around. As I approach, I don't notice the uneven cobblestone and miss a step, but luckily I catch myself before I fall. That was close. I'm thankful the darkness hid my stumble. I don't remember any of the other cities being this dark at night. I follow Amelia's line of sight and notice a darkened lamppost. Maybe the light bulb's gone out. Looking further down the street, I see that the street lamps after this one are lit, but the one after that is dark again.
This is highly unusual.
They're crystals, not light bulbs. It seems like every other lamp is out. That can't be a coincidence. Amelia
That is
frowns.
the conclusion we came to as well.
I peek inside the nearest lamppost.
Do you see a crystal?
I squint as I peer into the darkness. I can't make out any shapes, but I can't tell if there's because it's too dark or because there's nothing inside. I think this one might be empty. Zack looks suspicious while Amelia frowns in concern.
Surely the town would not be so negligent in their maintenance and upkeep.
It's a possibility.
Maybe someone's stealing crystals. Looks like someone's been stealing crystals. Zack looks skeptical while Amelia looks thoughtful.
The likelihood of crystals being stolen from lamps is very low. It is more likely that either the town is purely negligent, or it is short in resources for replacements. Whatever the theory, we should bring this to someone's attention.
That makes sense. Amelia searches our surroundings and spots a guard patrolling on the nearby lane. We quickly approach him. Excuse me.
What is it?
We notice that half your lamps are dark. Before I finish my sentence, the guard sighs wearily.
We just can't replace them fast enough. Every day they keep taking more and more. That's actually what I've been doing now. I'm counting how many need to be replaced tonight.
Interesting. Wait, are you saying someone's been stealing the crystals?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Oh!
It's crazy, right?
Not at all. It's the most logical conclusion, Amelia. Zack. Amelia looks impressed that I guessed correctly.
What's the point of that?
Your guess is as good as mine. They're really not worth much.
Have there been any other relevant thefts?
Sure, it's not just lamp crystals that they're stealing. They're stealing pretty much any kind of crystal that they can get their hands on. It's been going on for a few weeks now, and I'm at my wit's end. We've got a reward out for anyone who knows anything, but we've still gotten no leads. Anyways, if you guys see something, let me know. I've got to get started on replacing these crystals before even more get taken.
Amelia, Zack, and I stand in silence as the guard leaves. I'm not even from here, and I can tell that something really weird is going on. Based on Amelia and Zack's expressions, it must be pretty bad.
We should get back.
Yes, we should inform Kara and Leanna.
Is it Leanna or Liana? We follow Zack to the inn where Liana and Kara are waiting and exchanging greetings. Any news?
I heard there was someone who could help, but I haven't been able to track him down. I'm sure I'll have an answer tomorrow.
She glances outside the window.
Has anyone else noticed how dark it is around here?
Someone has been stealing the lamp crystals. That is what the guard informed us.
Kara raises an eyebrow.
Must be some pretty desperate thieves out there.
Why do you say that?
Well, lamp crystals give essentially no return. They don't sell for anything because they're all specifically marked to be easily identified as this type of crystal.
Obviously something very weird is going on.
Maybe someone's more interested in the energy of the crystals instead of their value.
Do lamp crystals have a lot of energy?
Not particularly. We should look into this. I can't think of any reason why someone would want lamp crystals. And I'd like to know what they're doing with them.
I'll laugh if it's just like a group of bandit pongos. Liana bites her lip as she thinks, then nods, coming to a decision.
You're right. We should investigate.
Interesting. Liana stops and stares at Zack.
Really? I'm a bit surprised, but glad to see this side of you. It sounds like the guards could use our help figuring out this mystery.
Yup.
Again, Liana stares at Zack, a little more uncertain than you before. Yep. Kara grins slyly.
They're offering a reward for any information, aren't they?
Yep.
Yep. Liana sighs.
I should have guessed.
Yep.
Regardless, our first plan of action should be to search for any irregularities in energy.
Amelia and I can do a scan of the city to see if anything shows up on the scanner.
Oh, don't we have Pongo Pongo? We follow as the two of them step outside of the inn and begin to fiddle with their manipulators. And I think this is going to be a perfect place to cut it for the night. Do a quick save and do a regular manual save. It seems a mystery has unfolded before us in whatever town this is called. And there is a reward for it after all, so yep. Very interested to see who's behind this caper. I still say it's Pongos, but that's because I like those little bastards. But let me know your thoughts in the comments on who do you think this is, without spoiling it, of course, if you know the answer already. But if you enjoyed this episode of Crystalline, we got to see a new side of Amelia that I thought we never would see. She's rather cute. I have thought she was actually going to be like a robot. I don't know why, it's just anime trope. But if you enjoyed this episode, leave a like and share it around. It helps me grow the channel, and I really appreciate it. Follow me on Twitter to know when all my videos go live, as well as when I'll be doing something special. It's also a great way to become an Ember of the Phoenix. In doing so, you really will never miss when a video goes live. And with all that said, this has been Black Phoenix. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.